All right, welcome to Day State. This is episode 1. I'm here with, I don't like the word co-host, so I'm going to say my buddies, Naters, Nate for short, and JC.
Yep, happy to be here. Very excited for the first episode. It's been a long time coming. We've been talking about it for a while. I'm glad we're finally in here.
Yeah, man.
I'd like to acknowledge that we're sitting underneath the Once Upon a Time in Hollywood poster.
Yep.
Even though you cannot see.
Yeah, one day we are going to have the posters in the background. We're going to have an elaborate background.
Yep.
So, how's everyone's week so far? It's only Monday.
It's only Monday, starting off Monday strong.
Right.
Went to the library today, got some homework done, getting ready for this. So.
Yeah, I mean, ending the night with a nice beer of the root, one would say. Root beer.
As some might say.
We got a hockey game to attend later. We're not going to specify professional or collegiate, what school, where we are.
Yeah, or who we're pulling for.
There you go. All right. I'm going to back up a little bit in case I'm a little loud. All right, so Frick, let's get right into it.
Yeah, let's go ahead for it.
We are going for a movie-oriented talk show / POD, CAST.
Yeah.
We don't want to say the word.
Mm-hmm.
So we don't want to be held down by anything.
Yeah, this could turn into anything. Who knows where this is going to go, you know?
This could turn into Abercrombie and Fitch.
Yeah, very easily. American Eagle.
All right. So, for the most part, we are going to be talking about movies. Some movies will decide through us three. Hopefully we'll get a following at some point, and you guys will give us recommendations. But for now, it's going to be movies that at least one of us is really passionate about and wants to show the other two. And we might start a system. We don't know. We're like 1 week JC puts out a movie, 1 week Nate, 1 week I do. I'm not sure, but that's up in the air. So, but for this week, we decided on I think it's a 2021 movie.
Yeah, 2020. Oh, no,
2022 movie, Bodies, Bodies, Bodies.
Yep.
Starring Rachel Snow and Pete Davidson.
Yeah.
Those are the only two actors I know the first and last names of.
Yeah. It's the only people that I really knew going into it, whenever it came out. Do you guys remember seeing, the advertisements
Yeah,
for
it was completely skewered, I thought.
Yeah, did you ever see any of the ads for
I
it?
did not see a single advertisement. Will called me one night at 10 o'clock at night and said, you have to go see this movie
right
with
after
me.
I watched it.
Right after we watched it. You have to go see this movie with me. I don't want you to look up anything about it. I don't want you to have any knowledge about it. Just, it's called Bodies, Bodies, Bodies.
Yeah.
And I remember the advertisements being awful for it and made it look like
terrible.
Made it look like some TikTok dumb Gen Z type.
It looked like Hide and Seek the movie.
Yeah.
From the trailer.
It was pretty silly. But
Would you mind
whenever
pulling up the synopsis?
Whenever I saw that Pete Davidson was in it, I was like,
Yeah.
okay, I'm expecting to laugh.
Mhm.
Whenever we went to go see it in the theater, I didn't have high hopes for it by any means.
No, I was blown away.
Yeah, I don't remember who all we went with, but I don't think anybody had anything bad to say about
Yeah.
it.
Me and you saw it twice. We saw it in theaters once and showed Nate.
Yeah.
What does the synopsis read?
When a group of rich 20-somethings plan a hurricane party at a remote family mansion, a party game turns deadly in this fresh and funny look at backstabbing, fake friends, and one party gone very, very wrong.
That about sums it up, I think.
Yeah, it was good. It started off, you don't really know the direction that it's going in.
Yeah, for sure.
I also really enjoyed how kind of in the beginning, especially within the first probably 30 minutes of it, they did a really good job of making you think that this is going to be a horror movie. It's going to be a really, really scary movie. You're out in the forest, hurricane's coming, power goes out, this and that, So I really liked that.
I'm going to stop you right there. I will say this is a spoiler review.
Mm-hmm.
If you haven't seen the movie, I'm not sure why you're here right now because we have no audience. So it's a spoiler review. People aren't going to click on a random POD.
I'm not going to hold anything back.
Yeah, we are going in spoiler free.
Yeah.
Spoiler, not free. Sorry.
Boy.
Yeah, so keep going if you had anything more to say.
No, I was good there, but I just really enjoyed that aspect of it, especially through the beginning of it.
Mm-hmm.
Nate, let me ask you this.
Okay.
So, me and JC have already seen it before.
Mm-hmm.
Really liked it. But I will say, on the second viewing, since I knew the twist and I kind of knew what was expected, I wasn't on the edge of my seat as much as I was in the theater. And plus, obviously, the theater experience. Can you explain what your emotions kind of were as the movie unfolded a little more?
I think the movie was trying to play along with other recent trends in a lot of like recent movies, especially the Knives Out movies, because same genre of mystery. So
did it play with it or did it make fun of it?
Not make fun of it exactly, because it was more making fun. It was the satirical or making fun of it aspects and like the social aspects of the movie,
Right.
like the political aspects more so. But it was trying to imitate mystery movies, but not old mystery movies. The only mystery movie I could see it imitating that was not current would be Clue, because it's trying to be an episode of Clue basically, because they're playing a game.
And I haven't seen that.
I only know what it's about.
Right.
It's weird. I know the synopsis. I've never seen it. But I basically know what happens. But I thought it reminded me a lot of Knives Out. It's trying to be a revamped version of an old style of movie.
A murder mystery, which is.
But with a social commentary of like rich people.
Exactly.
Yeah, so it's odd, but like you can do it well. Like I thought Knives Out did it really well. So I wasn't sure like what direction it would go, because I'm not sure. If you just copy something, to me, it's just not the same quality of like actually innovating it on it yourself.
And that's what I really do like about it. It's innovative. You know, it's a murder mystery, but as the twist reveals, it was never really a murder mystery. You know, and I think that was refreshing to see at the end. You know, I thought it was hilarious that Pete Davidson's doing a TikTok with a machete and slices his neck open.
Yeah, it's the perfect ending to make you literally go like, no way. You know, it's not like this huge big reveal of who was killing these people. It's that there was really never a killing.
It really. So I wrote this down in my notes that it's not trying at the end of the movie. Not as much in the beginning. It's not trying to be Knives Out or what's the new Glass Onion. What it's trying to, or even Clue. What it's trying to be is Lord of the Flies. It's trying to be like a social experiment. Like if you put a bunch of people on an island, like in Lord of the Flies, did y'all read that in middle school?
No.
We had that assigned to us. Like we had to read it. So Lord of the Flies, basic synopsis, a bunch of like 12-year-old boys are put on an island and like with no supervision. They have to survive. They basically learn how to survive. So you have to take that under account. But it's like what happens when you put a bunch of 12-year-old boys on an island and they like organize themselves and like there's a leader and then they start, you know, oppressing other members of the tribe and like trying to kill people, and they're like 12. Like what is going on?
Yeah.
So it's trying to be like social commentary on what would happen if this happened.
Yeah.
So I thought that was interesting. At least it wasn't a traditional mystery in any aspect, obviously, but it was almost like a trick. It was like, it's not a mystery at all.
It's like what happens when you take a bunch of coked out rich teenagers and you know, lock them in a house together.
And with the social commentary aspect of in the year 2022, because that is unique. Because Clue was in 1985, and this could never happen in 1985.
Right. Yeah. And the thing I like about it most is that if people complain about like, oh, that's a waste of movie, like waste of time, I just wasted an hour and a half watching that, blah blah blah. Then you literally take in the TikTok aspect and say, all right, well, how much time do you spend scrolling through social media a day?
Exactly.
Like it's like saying, ha ha, look at you. Even if you don't like this, you still do it constantly. And we just spent an hour and a half in form of a movie, and it acknowledged that and it made fun of that, and that's what I appreciated most about it. That it was the first modern day big piece of media that I saw that was like really like, look at your generation. Look how you guys are, you know.
I don't even know what else to really compare it to. I mean, the language in it, the characters, you know, and the phones, you know, that was a huge thing.
Yeah, like, half the back half of the movie is lit only by phone lights, which I thought was awesome.
There's obviously a misdirect at the end, but there's even a misdirect in the beginning of the movie, the first act, because the first act, the whole movie is self-aware. Like it's like Greg fake dies.
Right.
And then the beard of the balls thing.
That was
and like,
genius.
Like,
love that.
So it's very self-aware. Like, this is gonna be a horror movie, and then it's like, it's not.
Yeah.
And then in the second act, it gets serious, takes itself seriously, And the third act again, it's ridiculous again.
Mhm.
It's a self-deception.
Did a good job of bringing you in, like getting you all tense, and then loosening you up with a little laugh.
Yeah,
Mhm.
you know, they also did a really good job of, you don't feel the same way about any two, any two characters. You know, you feel a
Mhm.
different way about each character. You know, I'm blanking on the names, but the main character especially. You know, she came from wherever she was with her mother. You
Yeah.
know, and that was just totally different backstory than all the other teenagers. And you know, but the thing is they all have one thing in common: teenagers, wealthy, and on some type of substance. You know?
Right.
So that was really, really well. I think they did a really good job with that. But usually, like in murder mysteries and stuff like that, you have people coming from different backgrounds and people of, you know, different age and, you know, different interest. But
Absolutely.
everybody in this is kind of under the same wing, you know.
And that's why Knives Out works so good,
Mhm.
because all these different ages and unique
Mhm.
aspects of people in one family.
Absolutely.
And then, like you said, when we first watched it, it is bound. All the characters, they're all different, like, and you feel different ways about them, but you all dislike them all.
Yeah.
There's not a character you really like. And I wrote down, they're all, everybody's Emma, and Emma is the girl that Pete Davidson's dating.
Mhm.
If y'all don't remember, Pete
Right.
Davidson.
The one that cries.
Yes, and Pete
Yeah.
Davidson says, like, you've never had an original thought in your life,
Right.
and all you do is copy everything you see on the internet,
Mhm.
and
Wow.
like, I despise the way you think.
Yeah.
And I was like, wow, that's an interesting way to think about somebody. Like, I don't like the way you think. But everyone is like that. Even Pete Davidson himself is like a reflection of that.
Yeah.
So it's, while they are all different, they're all the same in that aspect.
Yeah. They're definitely, they all have qualities that I hate.
Mm-hmm.
But I think each of them kind of has a quality that is so much more different than everybody else. You know,
Mhm.
it's like you have Alice, right, who's like trying to be somebody, like trying to, you know, have positivity, but can't get over, you know, the fact of, like, I don't know exactly what I'm trying to say.
Is she body dysmorphia girl?
She's the body
Okay.
dysmorphia.
She's self-obsessed.
Yeah, self-obsessed. You know, like she's trying to put positivity out there, but at the root, it's like she's
She just cared about herself.
yeah.
Yeah.
So, and then Jordan, the girl that had the gun, you know,
Yeah.
she is trying to be like this leader. You know, she's
Mhm.
she's doing her best to like be like this main person, trying to lead the pack, lead the wave, and she does, and she can't get over Sophie.
Right.
Right. It's like she's like, I feel like everything about Jordan, it was based around Sophie in that. You know, so maybe she's like, she doesn't care about herself enough.
She compares herself too much.
Compares herself too much. Yeah, that's exactly.
And
what
that,
it
at
is.
the end of the day, is still like narcissistic in a way. So like, they're all narcissists, but like each in a different way.
Mhm.
So goes back to what we just said.
And each person's tailored personality, I guess it's kind of how it is with every murder mystery and Knives Out, but the commentary in Bodies, Bodies, Bodies is like the way everyone acts. They each kind of they each allow a little bit of mystery to them. Like the foreign exchange girl lying about where she went to school.
Yeah.
And then like Sophie cheating with Jordan. Like everyone has a little bit of mystery, and then the jealousy of Emma and Rachel's Sine, I don't know, Alice, and that whole aspect. There's a motive. There's a motive with everyone,
Yes.
and that's because of their modern day personalities, which is like a first time on screen kind of thing for me.
Yeah. I think it was really, really interesting how, like, it doesn't matter which direction it's going in, it could flip at any point. Like, oh no, it's you.
Yeah.
No, it's you. Like, it happened, I don't know,
It's
3 or 4 times.
The motives aren't revealed at the same time.
Yeah.
It's
So
literally the Spider-Man meme.
Yeah,
You're pointing at each other.
Yeah.
when the motive is revealed at the point, like when B's motive is revealed that she's the foreign girl. I had to look this up. I don't remember that one. But, when it's revealed that she lied about a bunch of stuff and she gets kicked out of the house, well, like the following scene, her name is cleared because someone else's motive is revealed.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So each motive is revealed at a different point in time.
When it's like they both are in the wrong just for different things, but it's like in the sequence that they were it's like whoever is most recently accused of something, or whoever is most recently in the wrong is like, oh, you're the killer.
And then
Yeah.
there's social commentary to that.
Yeah.
So there's like a societal implication to that.
Yeah.
Of, I'm sure you can.
Like
fill in the blank.
attention span wise, like something along the lines of
You,
that.
you could even.
Oh, for sure.
You talk about it with cancel
Yeah.
culture. You talk about it with attention spans. You can talk about it with just like news cycles and how they disappear after 2 days, and you can
Oh, man.
endless possibilities on references to society on that.
It's all too timely for this day and age.
For sure. Yeah. Let's get into the story a little bit more. I did want to talk about, as it unfolded, was there any parts of the movie that went too quick for you guys? Were there any parts of the movie where, it kind of slowed down? It's only an hour and 30 minutes, so it doesn't have a whole lot of time to drag.
Mm-hmm.
But, were there any parts for you guys that just kind of went too quick?
Yes and no. I love the pacing of it.
Mhm.
I love how we can just bust it out in a quick hour and a half and not have to put a whole night aside for it. But at the same time, especially once you're aware of the commentary going on and
Yeah.
how it's kind of clowning our generation, I didn't exactly want it to end. Like I wanted to see how else can they make fun of us, because I mean, I know all three of us lean on the we need to correct our society
For sure.
way, but I mean, I personally don't have TikTok, but just those little things, I was like, I really enjoy that someone is pointing these out, and not even necessarily making fun of it, but saying, hey, this is a thing that's going on in our world right now with this generation.
Do you have TikTok, Nate?
Mm.
See, I am just recently learning that of how many people don't have it now.
Yeah.
I just recently put the screen time on my phone because I find myself mindlessly
Exactly.
scrolling all the time. I was in the library today. I was like, what am I doing?
Yeah.
Why am I on my phone right now? Put my phone down. And that's another thing. I wanted to bring that up because it's I'm a part of this. I'm a part of who they're making fun of. We all are.
Yeah, no, I'm not saying I'm not part of that at all.
Yeah.
By not having TikTok, I'm still on every other social media platform.
Yeah.
So I'm completely a part of that. But it's funny that you say that. That is the reason why I deleted TikTok, because I'd get home from class, need to start my homework, go on TikTok for 5 minutes. All right, 5 minutes. I look at the time, 6 minutes past. I'm like, all right, let me get some food.
Yeah.
And while I'm eating, TikTok, boom, scrolling through it. Then have to take poop. Go take a poop, scrolling through TikTok.
Yeah.
And then all right, 5 more minutes after I poop, and I get tired. Let me go lay down for 10 minutes, YouTube or TikTok or whatever. And then it's I'm just pushing back my homework time. It's not productive at all.
Yeah.
And I can't tell myself that I'm not gonna not use it for that long if I have it on my phone.
Yeah.
The screen time, you can say, let me go on it or whatever the add 5 more minutes or whatever the procedure is with that. But it's I need this off my phone.
Yeah, I put my thing as Snapchat, Instagram, and TikTok, 3-hour limit for the whole day for all of them.
That's good.
So it's I'm still, if I need to go on my phone for anything, if I'm in my bed at night, I want to take a quick scroll, I still can. But I'm really trying to after seeing this movie again, it kind of put it in perspective for me again. So I'm trying to do that.
So is that what y'all think the message of the movie is? If there's a message or theme to it?
I think that the main points are making us notice, right? Because they advertised it as to us, to Gen Z, and so it's whenever these Gen Z people go watch it, it's attention span and
The lingo.
the lingo for sure. That was such a huge thing.
There was
Toxic was used a lot,
toxic.
and that was really funny. You're silencing me. It's
body dysmorphia.
body
Let's talk
dysmorphia.
about gaslighting.
Yeah, gaslighting.
Gaslight.
They said the word
Gaslighting,
narcissist was one of them.
Yeah.
And I've already
Narcissist.
said narcissist on this episode.
Yeah, and
Almost
so
slipped up
you would have
there.
been murdered if you.
Oh yeah, yeah. So I wrote down in my notes that there was a message and there's a theme, and I think they're a little bit different.
Okay.
So the theme, what the entire movie we've already talked about, is a misdirect to the one theme of get off your phones, what you basically already said.
Yeah.
You're all self-obsessed and lazy. Get off the phones. But there's also a message, honestly, to the movie that I don't think a whole lot of people could pick up on, and honestly, it could be totally subjective.
Those are my favorite things that people pick up on.
So I wrote down, when you're not only egotistical, but you also believe you're right all the time, and you're trying to play Clue, you're actually trying to solve a murder, but there's not one to solve, you end up causing more harm than good. the message of the movie is stop playing God. Like you're acting like you have power in the world because you're like self-righteous. You're claiming, oh, there's a murder going on, I have to solve it. There's a problem going on, I have to solve it. And it's like, it's basically calling out social progressives, in my opinion. We have to go fix something. We have to go protest something. We have to go be activists about something because there's a problem and I have to go fix it. And it's calling that out sort of in a way. It's saying you're like there's no problem to be had here. You think you're right all the time.
It was never once even thought like, oh, maybe this kid just fucked up. You know?
Yeah.
Like maybe he like, and obviously like if you see somebody with a slit throat, your automatic thing isn't, oh, he went and did it to himself.
Right.
But I think that like the fact that all of your wires aren't connecting up top when you're trying to solve a mystery, and I feel like that's like whenever you're saying playing God, and there's not always something to solve. I think that is kind of shown in Jordan's character a lot.
Oh yeah.
But just it's shown in all of them for sure because it kind of flips throughout the movie. But I think in Jordan's character the most, what you're talking about is kind of shown.
Specifically because she's the one that gets the gun.
She gets the gun, and she is the one with the most power throughout it, right? Like she's
absolutely.
the one that takes Greg's go bag and puts on the headlamp flashlight. And, like she does all that. Another thing about the flashlights, there's in the beginning of the movie we see a whole table full of flashlights and batteries, but the first thing that they want is to use their phone. I thought that was pretty funny. Anyway, we'll get back.
And there's so many little nitpicky things like that.
Yeah.
And going back to what you were saying, like the whole he kills himself on accident. One, I know they don't have any phone service, but these people are literally lost without their phones.
Yeah.
Like that's what the whole movie's about. They don't have cell phone service and they go crazy. Like they kill all their friends because they don't have their phones. They can't call 911.
Yeah.
Secondly, they are rich, probably uneducated. No one knows basic, like,
survival
CPR.
techniques,
like
all the words they get are from their phone. Like their basic vocabulary. Like we said, all their vocabulary comes from their phone.
Yeah, like they
can't even speak with
They
them.
have no idea what to do in this situation. No one, like not even. Well, Greg's asleep, but Greg probably would have helped out the most.
Dude, absolutely. I mean,
he probably had some tourniquet stuff in his bag. I mean, I know it's a neck wound, but
I mean, still, like he was the guy that was kind of obviously the most mature, the oldest. Probably the guy that's not on his phone.
Yeah.
Yeah, and going along with Greg, I loved how they mixed up vet from war vet to a veterinarian.
The self-aware aspect.
Yeah, that was awesome. Like,
that was pretty good. I forgot about that. Yeah.
And there's the aspect of how he's older, but he's like acting like them. He's acting like a 20-year-old. He's high too.
Yeah.
So he's being stupid. Like he's the one that's why what ultimately gets him killed is that he like mistakes this all as a fever dream. Like, oh, y'all are just messing with me.
Yeah. And it's like, how did Alice meet him?
Dinner.
On the phone. So it's just funny that like the fact that this guy, who's way older than all of these teenagers, that met this, are they teenagers or 20s? Early 20s?
They're tweens.
Tweens.
Tweens? That's 10 to 12, isn't it?
20-agers. Who fucking knows?
No, I thought tweens was.
Anyway.
I thought tweens was like 19.
No,
Yeah,
tweens.
10 to
Tweens is like
12-year-olds.
11, 12. Yeah.
Oh shoot.
Not tweens.
Oh my god.
just
That would be messed up if a 40-year-old met a tween on Tinder.
On Tinder.
Anyway, so it's just funny that this guy who's a lot older than all these mid 20-year-olds met this girl on a dating app and was like, hey, let's go to this hurricane party with all my friends for the weekend, and then ends up he's the one that gets murdered.
Yeah.
Like he's not like he's older and they don't know anything about him and they kill him. It's like a total swap of what you would expect.
And Greg, totally a cool guy.
Yeah,
Like
great.
he was he was older, and he was so like, oh, you guys are just messing with me. Like, oh, let's play along. Like he's trying to fit in. He's like.
He's doing his best.
Yeah, like he tried really hard, and he got punished for it because he didn't. Maybe it goes again with social awareness, but I mean.
Yeah, and
Greg is easily the most down to earth.
Definitely the most down to earth. But here's the thing: if you're like 40 years old and you're going on, a weekend getaway with 20-year-olds,
then maybe you're not.
You clearly don't have your shit together. Like you're clearly not all.
Yeah.
But overall, I think his character, or Pete Davidson's character, is probably my favorite. You know, just because comedy wise and like the way that they are in social situations, I really enjoyed both their characters a lot.
And I've seen a little bit more of Rachel Snow and Shiva Baby, and it's honestly a really similar movie where it's kind of all set in one timeline and very stressful, intense, and like awkward socially. And she's great in that, and she's great here. And I think she's kind of flying under the radar for the next big star kind of thing.
Yeah, I've never seen anything. The actor's name that played Greg, Lee Pace.
Yeah.
You'll ever seen anything that he's in?
I can't recognize his name. I could look him up.
Yeah. It says he's in Guardians of the Galaxy. You know, I love the Guardians movies, but I don't recognize him.
He might be one of those damn animals.
Probably just one of those blue people. You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah.
Let me see. I'll figure out who he is.
Anyway.
He's Ronan,
Ronan?
Who's running?
the bad guy in the first one. And then he's in Captain Marvel. He's Ronan again.
The guy that's trying to get the purple.
He's trying to kill all the people on the planet. He's a space racist.
Wow. Okay.
He
A
hates.
space racist?
Yeah, you've never heard this.
No.
Like, in Guardians 1, he hates a race of people. That's why he's trying to kill them all.
I don't know.
Like he's just a space racist.
So he's a
didn't know
racist.
that.
Space racist.
Space racist.
It's-
Wow.
it's-
Never
I thought it was kind of a weak villain, but
Yeah.
Guardians is good, so I liked it.
I'm excited for the new Guardians.
Absolutely.
Yeah. We've been talking about that on our Twitter page recently.
The only Marvel movie I'm excited for.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Any other thoughts?
I was going to bring up how y'all liked it slightly more than I did, so I was going to contrast one or two things I didn't like as much
Yeah.
about it.
Go for it.
Because y'all both gave it 8 out of 10. I gave it a 7 out of 10, so still liked it. But my negatives that I listed was that at the end, it has too many flavors of a trope movie. Like, so I'll kind of explain that. So I wrote down, obviously, the two main characters, the only two left alive at the end of the movie, are neither murdered or, hold on, this doesn't make any sense what I wrote down. Okay, so they're not dead, neither of them dead, so they obviously are not the one being murdered, and they're either both the killer or neither the killer. Because one being the killer doesn't make any sense. So if this is revealed, it's almost like a trick. You know, it doesn't feel legit. It feels like a trope. So in mystery movies, there's common tropes, and people, if you make like Knives Out, Rian Johnson got heavily criticized for being kind of a trope, like in the Glass Onion being a trope movie, because in Glass Onion, were you there when we watched that?
Mm-mm.
Did you watch it?
I watched it. Yeah.
Okay.
I've seen it twice. I really.
In
enjoyed
Glass Onion, there is an all-knowing document that reveals all information.
Yeah,
It's
the
a
napkin,
napkin,
right? Yeah.
It's a napkin. And in mystery movies, people who really like mystery movies despise, like when there's a stereotype that's just leaned into, and one of them is an all-knowing document. And
There's the easy way out.
it's an easy way out.
Yeah.
Another could be, I don't know. Like in Glass Onion, there's another one. There's a twin, identical twin.
Oh yeah.
There's that one is like a really easy, simple snap. We got the solution.
Yeah.
We don't have to be creative. We don't have to be innovative. We we can write this in.
It's a cop out.
It's a cop out.
And
In this one, there's another all knowing document. It's a
Yeah.
phone.
It's
Yeah.
the
The phone knows all.
but
and that's-
isn't that on purpose though?
Yes. So you can ask yourself, is this satirical or is it lazy? And that's the question I was kind of asking. Well, I think a lot of the movie is satirical, but the end kind of is a little lazy to me. Like obviously the last two people alive one of them's not going to be the killer. So we're obviously we're not in the range of like a classic murder mystery where there's one killer. So we're either in this range where they're both the killer or neither the killer.
And that's the thing is whenever you get to the point where there's two left,
Mhm.
right? You know, and they split up for a while and they're both kind of scared, they're both shaken up. You know, whenever they come back to each other,
Mhm.
they're not worried about the murder mystery anymore. They're worried about Sophie's text messages.
Yeah.
You know, so it's like, okay,
Selfish.
they just get rid of the whole idea that all of these however many people, 5 people just got murdered in front of them. You know, and instead they're going right back to the phone. That's where their ideas.
And
are.
that's the other thing I wrote down is that it doesn't take its conclusion seriously. It's like the reaction at the end is not, oh, like these people are the worst. Like it's a serious version of this movie would be like, wow, these people are they're unbearable. And like
Yeah.
it'd be a Lord of the Flies. Like you almost don't recognize. You you do not recognize humanity at to a point. That's the end of the Lord of the Flies. Like, I can't believe these people would do this.
Yeah.
But the end of this movie is, haha, Pete Davidson is so silly. Like, it's a laugh moment.
I guess that makes
And
sense.
it's also like the director, when he writes something in, like that's like a cop out, like we said, it's not like, because in a murder mystery, a lot of murder mysteries fans will try to like figure out the murder before it shows you. That's like why some people love this genre so much, because they try to solve
That's half the fun.
have fun.
You know?
But it's like, it's not possible with this one because you can't see it coming. It's like we didn't show you. So like a good murder mystery to me would be you could figure it out with the clues. You just have to piece it together properly. A cop out murder mystery is, it's not that you could have figured it out. You just missed something. It's the fact that we didn't show it to you intentionally. We didn't show you the answers
It's like
intentionally.
we weren't giving you the tools to figure it out. Like
No.
we didn't want you to know the whole time.
The most creative version of a murder mystery would be we showed you everything. Like you could have figured this out. You just never thought of it.
Yeah. So, let's say, think back to yourself. You're halfway through this movie.
Mm-hmm.
Who did you think did it?
I don't mean to sound like all knowing here, but like I was like, there's got to be like a twist. I didn't know who. I did not think it'd be simple. I was like, there's no way this is one person.
Yeah.
It doesn't make sense to be one person.
At the same time, we wouldn't have been so crazy and wanted to show you a movie that
Sure.
would have been like,
Yeah.
oh, it's this person.
It's another
Sure.
thing. It's like there was a whole character that we didn't know until the last scene. Whatever his name was, we're like, oh, he left last night.
That's the other thing. I thought, what's his name again?
I
The
don't
brother of
remember.
Pete Davidson. I was like, he has to be coming back at
Jack
some
or
point.
something?
Yeah. Then that's basically the same trope as an identical twin. Like a character that's not in
Yeah.
the story yet, but that has significance to him. And they're not in the story whatsoever until the final scene of the movie. So it really is like,
Max.
what I was
Max,
thinking,
yes.
I was like, well, either Max is the murderer or like there's some weird twist here.
Yeah.
So I was like, I didn't know what to think. Because I figured every character has to have a motive. Because once they started revealing the motives, like, well, every character has to be lying, basically. And when everyone's lying and all these people are dying, there's no way this like is going to be a satisfactory ending unless like these people are just geniuses.
Yeah.
And I don't think it was a genius movie. I think it was a creative movie.
No, like it's not deep. It's not like there's something crazy that you had to catch on to. It's not like there was something, underlying. And that's the thing. Like we weren't trying to solve a puzzle. They didn't give us enough pieces to solve the puzzle. So
It just they shocked you when they showed you the complete puzzle.
Yeah, I mean,
it was a shock movie.
they took it right down to the wire.
Mhm.
It was like to the last minute. Like the last minute, you're like, oh shit, there it is.
But it was a good time.
It was a good time.
It was definitely a good time. I
It was
loved
funny. It was suspenseful at times. I was, especially in the theater, my heart was going. My
Yeah.
stomach was a little tingly.
I was expecting a couple more jump scares. Like looking back, I could only really think of 2 jump scares that really were there.
Yeah.
Whenever Greg was like whenever he was taking his nap, he got up and he started going around a little bit. That made me like, oh, just for a bit.
Yeah.
And then in the end, whenever Sophie comes up and grabs B, but instead it's really just like hugging,
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like that's the only 2 jump scares that I can really think that kind of got me going. I think there might have been one more in there, but it's not coming to mind right now. That I was like, oh,
Yeah. I know. I was kind of like grabbing the sides of my seats whenever I think B went off on her own and she was running from Sophie.
Yeah, whenever she hit like the plant.
Yeah, like that. That was like, all right, what's about to happen? Because I knew it was towards the end of the movie, and we had no, like you said earlier, Nate. We don't know what's happened. We know that there's not a present killer. So I really thought something was gonna happen then. So I was on the edge of my seat there.
I also think, because we already talked about how it relates to like modern day reinventions of mystery movies, like Knives Out, said it multiple times, and Clue, and I said Lord of the Flies. There's another aspect where I think it is trying to play on a new invention of the horror or thriller genre,
Right.
and so I think Black Mirror invented this. I know you like Black
I
Mirror.
love Black Mirror.
I knew JC loved Black Mirror. So Black Mirror, I think I've not seen all of them obviously, but I've seen a couple of them. And Black Mirror's whole reinvention, or like the thing that turns people onto it, is that the scary thing, the most terrifying thing, is humanity. Is you.
For sure.
You're the most terrifying thing.
And
Yeah,
that's
It's
why
not
you-
some demon. It's not a monster. It's you.
Yeah, that's why you watch those. Like I personally love the technology ones. You
Mhm.
know,
Me too.
Um,
Those are my favorites.
Smithereens and Nosedive I really enjoy,
Mhm.
just because those are the ones that are like, you know, the most about phones and shows the dangers of the progressing technology. But that's another thing. Like you watch Black Mirror for the twist, because you
Mhm.
know that at the end of every single one, you're gonna be like, what is going on?
Mhm.
You know, like how did this happen? But I think that this movie did a really really good job, kind of giving that twist. Now that I'm thinking about it, like the Black Mirror influence and kind of that, I didn't really see that at the, after my first 2 watches, I guess. But I guess there are a lot of similarities.
That's
Like that. This very easily could be a Black Mirror
Yeah.
episode.
It's
dumbed down, but
It's not only a social experiment, but it's also they all kind of have a similar message of now obviously they're not the big scary thing at the end is not the same thing every time, but it's the essential message of the movie is that humanity should terrify you. Like
Yeah.
what we do should terrify you.
Yeah.
Not like a big scary CGI monster like a Stranger Things or some like sort of demonic possession. It's just you. That's all, and that's what is the scariest aspect.
Yeah, I think about technology all the time. I think there's a lot of. You ever seen iRobot before? You ever seen that, Will Smith?
No, I haven't.
I think you'd really enjoy that.
Yeah.
Have you ever seen that before? Well, maybe we have our next movie.
Oh.
All
All right. Speaking of next movie, let's get into the closeout.
Yeah.
So me and you, JC, give it a 4 out of 10.
I gave it a
4 out of
4,
5.
4 out of 5 both times. I really enjoyed it.
And you gave it a 3.5.
I'll be a stickler that I talk in tens, so y'all talk in fives.
He's an IMDb guy from the
Originally,
get-go.
OG.
Originally, before Letterboxd.
Before Letterboxd.
So yeah, I mean, I give it that extra half star just because it's like something I've never seen before. You know?
It's brand new. There's after this movie, I'm sure something else is gonna come like it. But the thing is it's the first of the first of its kind.
Mhm.
I really enjoyed that. I'd never seen anything like it before, and watching it the second time was just as great. So yeah, I really enjoyed the movie overall.
All right, well, it's about wraps it up for this episode. It's only the first. Many more to come.
Yeah, let's go catch some hockey.
Yeah, we're gonna decide on the next movie soon. And
Hopefully we get way better at this.
yeah, this is a trial and error.
Yeah.
So
Anyway,
we need a motto, but we'll work on that.
we'll work on it.
All
Appreciate you guys for listening. Stay safe.
Thanks, Asher and Ben and Nate and Gabe.